So today I got something here that's got quite a bit of cool factor to it. This is a 28 265 Science Fair. I'm kind of guessing this might have been late 80s, maybe around 90, 91. I'm guessing also it's probably the last one of these that was made that I remember of. And this is unfortunately not the nicest one there ever was. There was one of these back around 80, 82 that came in a wood box that was really nice. But this one here is still pretty cool. It's very, very interesting, to say the least. And it's in pretty remarkable shape, considering where it was stored at and how bad its environment was. So, the book that comes with this is fairly incredible. It's actually too large for me to even get on the camera here, really. It's basically about 3/8 of an inch thick, pretty much 105 pages of probably some of the coolest stuff. This was probably about the best electronics tutorial you could really get in a box, for that matter. So when I first got this out of the box here, knowing what I know about, I would say probably 80s or late 80s electronics, I kind of knew that somewhere inside this book, UFO was going to appear. And but I thought, wouldn't this be kind of cool if this thing had a UFO detector in it? But it does not have a UFO detector. But I was right that it would have something to do with UFO in it. So this is what I came up with here. Number 13, UFO Invasion. And it's kind of like a timing game. It uses a dual JK flip-flop, a quad input NAND, and some other things. And I pretty much ran myself out of wire on this project. I probably should have picked something a little bit simpler to start with, but I didn't. So basically this display is supposed to flash UFO, and you're supposed to hit the code key switch in response to what you're seeing here on the segment display. And I'm almost guessing you're supposed to get some sort of sound. It says to stop the UFO, you'll need to use your laser cannon, which is the code key, which ties into an LED. So when you see that LED light, you're supposed to hit the fire button. And I just recently discovered why mine does not work. So, if you want to mess with wiring, this is probably the quickest way to get it. It has a very significant corrosion problem. Not all the springs are corroded, but the ones that are pretty bad. So I messed with this, and I just couldn't get it running. Stuck some batteries in here. So I definitely get the U lit up, but somehow my F and my O have decided not to appear. At least the speed control works. It doesn't really respond to the code key input, which seems to attach into the logic gate, and my LED number 1 does not light up. But the funny thing is, for those that may be familiar with this sound, this is almost an exact duplicate of the money wheel on The Price is Right game show. If you remember what the big wheel sounded like when they spun it. It sounded almost exactly. like that. And yeah, it's pretty funny. So I could not get this running, so I jimmied the back off of it, and of course it was contact cemented. And now I have a very good indication of why my circuit does not work. And I probably should have went to the back first, but I didn't. So it's got a very severe corrosion problem. And I don't know why I was thinking this, but I was kind of thinking, well, the wires are probably terminated in some other way on the back. I don't know how I come up with that dumb theory, because I should have figured if there's spring terminals on the front, they're going to be spring terminals on the back. But I didn't. I kind of thought they would have like a crimp type connection to them, but they're just wraparounds. So these are all really in bad shape. I don't even know anything that I could put on these to clean these. You know, it's not going to be a solderable material, I'm certain of. But when I popped over here to my dual JK flip-flop that's went flop, but it's not flipping, I instantly saw these wires broken off. I think there's one there, yeah. One there and one there broke off. And they're really corroded bad. I did kind of do some continuity checks on top, and they were sketchy, but it looked like they were barely making it. So who knows, maybe if I just tack these back down, maybe that'll fix it. So I'll flip the iron on here and see if I get lucky or not. I just don't know any other way to get the corrosion off of these. It would take an incredible amount of time to try to wire brush them and put all new wires on them. That's really the only way I know. If I could solder to the spring material, I could just simply grind the tops and run some new bus wires to them, but I know that stuff is not going to take solder, even in its pristine state. So let's tack some wires here. And just for the sake of science, see if it works. Oh, that one's broken too. Strangely, that one is not broken there. This one's broken so short. I don't know if I can bridge that or not. I think it bridged. The rest of them look kind of okay. So in the interest of science, let's just see what happens. Now, unfortunately, my battery power is about a ½ volt lower than it should be using these rechargeables. So the best I can really give it is 4 volts, which for those logic chips certainly ought to be good enough. But you know, you never know. Let's just see what happens. Oh, I got an F. Oh, wow. I got the full display. I'm not sure where LED number 1 is at. Maybe there's more. So better than what it was. Just looking to see if another one of these broke off near the edge of the board where I couldn't see it. Very perplexing. The LEDs are actually up here on this plate. They're soldered. So I don't know why LED number 1 is not pulling on. It seems to tie into this NAND gate here. I guess I'm just gonna have to keep going on it and see if I can find a way to bring it back. So a point I wanted to make here with this, you know, this is undoubtedly the best tutorial for electronics you can really get in a box, I think I said. But they kind of left out one crucial piece. When they got up here to the top, to the front of the book, they didn't give you schematics. So in order for you to understand what you built, you really got to be able to see the schematic to know how it works. Otherwise, when you look at it, it's just a bunch of wires that really has no meaning. And more to the point, if you don't know what you built, you don't know how to troubleshoot it. So, and you know, that's not entirely true. I mean, you can fix things without a schematic, but you know, it's much easier if you have the schematic to see how the thing's supposed to work. So just wanted to throw that in there. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Have a nice day.